Hello.
Hi, Jess. Oh, and Steve Carney appears to be coming in right now. Steve, we're starting off with your
Hi.
pal, say, Randy Cross, 3-time Super Bowl champion. I got you on. We tried last week, but you were busy, Randy. Now, Steve, of course, from Tampa, he said, Tampa Bay will win. All right. So, what did you think of the Super Bowl overall? And I know we got to ask you about the halftime show, the weekend with all the mirrors and everything like that. Randy, go ahead.
Well, the halftime show might have been better than the game. I think the game was kind of a sort of an MIA situation where no one really could quite figure out what happened to the Kansas City defense. We knew that they weren't going to have their starting offensive tackles, and the Tampa Bay defense may be able to rush a lot, but they controlled the pace of the game. And like I said, it's the highlight might have been the halftime show, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not a big fan of his new ring, but
you enjoyed the weekend, Randy, or what?
I always enjoy weekends, but not quite so much on that one.
All right, Jess, go ahead.
Yeah, a question for Randy. So the daughter of the trophy designer, I'm sure you've heard, she was upset due to Tom Brady throwing the trophy into, the other boat. But do you think the daughter deserves an apology?
No, not really.
No.
It seems it seems like everybody in the world gets butthurt a little bit too easy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I didn't see much of what was terrible about it.
Mm-hmm.
And goodness knows we've seen championship trophies dropped off double-decker buses onto the street, and some pretty terrible things happen. But yeah. I mean, professional athletes having a great time and celebrating, stuff like that might happen. And do they owe her an apology? No, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
The only
the
only way that she would have gotten an apology is if Cameron Braid had dropped the trophy. Now, if he drops the trophy into Tampa Bay, then you've got to apologize. But he caught the trophy for crying out loud. Let him celebrate like that. Randy, I want to ask you a little bit about what we're going to see here coming up. We're less than a month away from the start of the new league year. We're hearing the reports are out now. It looks like the salary floor is out at about $180 million, is actually down from this past season, and we'll find out exactly what the upper limit number is probably here in the next, I don't know, week or so.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume. How is that going to affect these teams going forward, especially a team like Tampa Bay? I just went and took a look at the number of people that they're looking at possibly losing. They have as many as 30 people that could be unrestricted or restricted free agents here come the start of the new league year mid-March.
Yeah. And, every year we see probably about a half a dozen teams that you could actually put in that category that they're loading up trying to win.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked for them. And, you look at for different ends of it, how about the deal with Carson Wentz? He's going to cost $33.8 million to get rid of him. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The cap hit is going to be pretty substantial. But, what position do you want to be in? Do you want to be in one of these positions like Tampa is, like other teams are, or would you rather be right now sitting with a number one draft pick like Jacksonville? And they've got some stupid number like $76 million available.
Mm-hmm.
They could do some serious business, and they could cement their future. That's for sure. I mean, if you have a young, really good player and you're running that organization, you've got a chance to cement your talent for a while when you put yourself in that kind of position.
And now, speaking of Jacksonville, you played for a coach that was known before coming to the pros as being, a college guy, in Bill Walsh, and now Jacksonville has Urban Meyer there. What do you think his success? How would you grade? I guess his chances of being successful at the NFL level, seeing as he's never even. I don't think he's ever coached at the NFL level.
Yeah, I'd put his chances maybe a little bit closer to when Saban's first trip after a national championship at LSU, when he first went to Miami. Mm-hmm. It's going to be foreign territory for a while, because the dealing with professionals, he's already found out, because it's been a little while, but he's already found out how different it is dealing with adults than dealing with 18 to 22-year-old young men. It's significantly different, but his main strength to me is his ability to motivate and work with people, which was something that Bill Walsh was a master at. And he's also really good at recognizing talent when it comes to coaching. And that's not always just your coordinator, it's your position coaches and everything else. So I'm really interested to see what they do, because that's something he's going to get a chance to do. Is he can take college stuff, and goodness knows we've seen pro teams doing some special stuff with college offenses. He's going to get a chance to take a real high test college offense like he had at Ohio State, and incorporate amazing level of talent. So he could have a hell of an impact, but it's all going to come down to how he motivates grown men to play. The guys that are getting paid to do it, because they're definitely different than the college kids.
So, and Randy, with all the Jimmy G rumors, do you think the 49ers will need a new quarterback?
I don't think so. I would defer to guys that know that team so well, guys like John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, that they see him day to day. When we just saw a guy in Carson Wentz get traded back to his old offensive coordinator from Philly, Frank Reich, that has ability that is hard to contend with. I mean, you just go by ability, but his biggest problem is his availability. And if you're not always available, people will move on. And Jimmy G is not there yet, but he's pretty close. This would be the year. He plays 16 plus 2 or 3 playoff games and gets them there, or gets them all the way there. Then these stories go away. He plays 10 games, misses a month with a knee, misses with a shoulder. The injuries are an issue as to him being available. His days are numbered.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Carson Wentz, $33 million. Randy, honestly, do you feel like he should have played 20 years later?
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, for starters, there was no sired, unfortunately. But you look at the way that's gone up. It's pretty crazy. And the deals that some of these guys are signing are.
Come on, can you announce?
Not quite baseball and basketball, but you can see it from there.
Do you want to announce that you're coming out of retirement for 1 year at like $16 million? Come on, I think. Come on.
Yeah.
1 year. Come on, you can do it for 1 year for $16 million.
For that money, yes, I would. But the way my shoulders and my neck feel right now, it wouldn't last long.
All right. So, getting back to Wentz and another guy, Deshaun Watson. Let's talk about Wentz. He signed. Well, he got traded to Indianapolis, and Phillip Rivers retires. How do you think he's going to do in Indianapolis? And that Deshaun Watson is the next domino to fall. Where do you think is Watson's best fit?
It's the best fit is not going to be, I think, the team that has to pay the highest price. The best fit might be San Francisco. A better fit might be somewhere. I'll give you an example. How would he look in the Pittsburgh Steelers offense.
Yeah.
And Ben's days are numbered there. And if you're being proactive, do you look into something like that? But think about what it's going to cost. I mean, there is no comparison compared to what Carson Wentz just got traded for. What he got traded for is going to be an old bag of kicking balls compared to what Deshaun Watson is going to get traded for. He's going to be traded for a ransom, a haul. It may prove to be in that kind of Herschel Walker, Ricky Williams kind of level trade. And that's how much you might have to give up to get him. But I think for some teams, it'd be worth it.
So, right. Steve, hold on. Steve is not asking this question. Steve, sorry, I'm going to ask this question for you. When you were here on before the Super Bowl, I asked you Joe Montana, Tom Brady. All right, Tom Brady winning his seventh ring. How many times is that? I said it 3 times, so 4 more times. 7th ring. All right. Do you still? I know you're biased.
That'd be 28 total.
Okay. Do you still say Joe Montana, or will you now? Are you sort of convinced because look what he did? Is it Tom Brady?
He hasn't changed my opinion. I'm happy for him. I think it's fantastic. He did an absolutely amazing job, just soup to nuts, given his age and his year and everything else. But I'll never pick anybody but my guy.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit there, Randy. I mean, anybody that knows anything about this sport knows how incredible Joe was as a leader and as a big time quarterback in the biggest games possible. But I want to talk to you about 2 other big time quarterbacks. One that's got a Super Bowl ring, one that's been to the Super Bowl. You've mentioned one. Both of these guys seem to be on their very last legs. Ben Roethlisberger, Cam Newton. Do either of them make it through the 2021 season as a starting quarterback in the NFL?
I'd say Ben, yes. I'm not sure if Cam Newton did enough this year to prove that opinion would be warranted as a starter, given his body of work from his days at New England. He may be. I really don't know. I'd be surprised, to be honest with you. And Pittsburgh's a pretty classy organization. I think if Ben really wants to be there and really wants to give it one last chance, I believe they would let him do it, or they'd have him do it. But yeah, I'd say he's got the best chance of being a starter, if not at Pittsburgh, someone.
Okay, I got 2 final questions here. Give me your thoughts on the Hall of Fame class that just was announced prior to the Super Bowl.
Pretty special. It's going to be an unbelievable. How about that ceremony? Because you're going to have a double class.
Yeah,
you're going to have the Hall of Fame's all-time size-wise biggest class from 2020, and then the 2021 class that just went in. Who are you going to argue with on that list? There's nobody to really argue with. I was really happy for Tom Flores. I thought that was something that was corrected. He was a player. He was an assistant. He won titles at every single level. Just a great person and an amazing coach. I was very happy that he got in. Was anybody surprised that Peyton got in? I'm surprised they had an election.
You've heard about what goes on in the room there, Randy, and the guys that have to go and make the speech or the presentation, and I only know this because Ira Kaufman, my longtime friend who used to be with the Tampa Tribune and is now working for the website joebucksfan.com. I know that his I remember him saying that his presentation for Warren Sapp was he stood up and said, "I present Warren Sapp," and sat back down. That's all he had to say.
Yeah, there aren't many guys like that, but it's kind of like nominating Walter Payton or Joe
Mm.
Montana or Jerry Rice or, one of these all-timers. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Rice.
and that's what
What are you
and
going
that's
to say?
well, that's what David Baker goes. Any discussion? No discussion.
Yeah.
So Randy, everybody,
it's great for the game, but what a ceremony that'll be in August.
I don't know if Jess and Steve know, but Randy's a big barbecue fan there for Super Bowl and barbecue fan. But I got to ask you this, and Steve I think Steve knows where I'm going. Randy, have you ever had tequila and avocado together? I know Tom Brady is a big fan of it. Have you ever had it?
Aren't you supposed to? Isn't that tequila and lime?
Yeah.
I'm not saying
right. I
it.
know. Avocado.
I
don't know.
I think he got the wrong. He got the wrong green fruit.
But how refreshing was it to see Tom Brady like that, letting down his guard a little bit and everything? Because when you look at him in New England and Bill Belichick and all that, he wins, and you never seen Tom Brady. I know it's Tampa, I know the weather's nicer and everything like that, but how nice was it to see Tom Brady like that?
Oh, you mean be human? Yeah, that's always that's always refreshing.
All the Boston media.
That's always
are
refreshing
angry.
with anybody like that.
Yeah, all the Boston media is angry because we get Tom Brady as an actual human being and not a robot like they got up there. In fact, the only person that I heard that had any qualms with the Hall of Fame class this year, Randy, was Ben Vallin of the Boston Globe, and he was complaining that John Lynch shouldn't have gotten in, and Richard Seymour should have gotten in. And I said, Richard Seymour is a great player. He's going to get his due. But John Lynch waited 8 years to get in. Richard Seymour is only on his third ballot. So wait your turn. But they just hate up there.
Yeah,
it's cold. I get it.
You look at that safety position in general. There's a lot of guys that aren't in the Hall that deserve some recognition, and getting John in kind of unplugs one spot for other guys that were safeties.
Mm-hmm.
So Randy, I gotta ask you. I mentioned barbecue. What did you have for Super Bowl? Come on, tell it, because Steve looks hungry to me. Come on, tell everybody what you had for it's Super Bowl. The Super Bowl. Come on.
Yeah. I did a nice pork shoulder, about a 12-pound pork shoulder that was killer. I smoked it for about 8 or 9 hours, let it rest for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it was much juicy goodness. Little Hawaiian bread rolls. Yeah.
I love those.
It was very good.
I love those King's Hawaiian rolls. The King's Hawaiian rolls. I can just envision them. They're soft. They're sweet. That pulling the.
Now Steve is leaving the show because he needs to eat. Thanks a lot,
so hungry.
I'm out of here.
So good.
Randy, I'm going to put you on the spot. I do this every year. Okay, next year's Super Bowl, Buffalo Bills.
Hey, I think there's a chance.
No, there's a chance.
If Allen can keep improving the way his year over, what he did in the 19 season compared to what he did in the 2021 season, you do that, you take another jump like that. He's already, a playoff level, a really, really good quarterback. He could get into that great category if he keeps honing his game. And that's what you brought up a great guy. Roethlisberger always got better. Brady has always gotten better. Deshaun Watson, since college, all he did there was win a national championship, but he's only gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the deal. When you get into the league, that gets you drafted being great in college. But if you keep getting better, that's how you win championships. And that's impressive to me. And yeah, I think there's a real good chance that you end up seeing Buffalo, if not in this one, a Super Bowl in the next year or two, because they've got the talent.
And how refreshing will it be? Hopefully, knock on wood, that you're going to see fans in time for the season, September, October, right? Fans, how much do we miss them this year when you see empty stadiums, Lambeau Field, Buffalo Bills Stadium, everything like that, and no fans?
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. I mean, we need to get back to that, because that was just seeing 25,000 in Tampa seemed like a monster crowd, and then another 25 at the national championship game down in Miami seemed like a full house just from the sound. And it's about time. I think by this coming fall we're going to see stadiums back.
All right, Randy.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
And Randy, tell everybody about your show there, because we carry it here. So go ahead, tell everybody about your show.
Yeah. I got the Randy Cross podcast. Been doing it for a while now. It'll be out at randycross.com, and this Monday we've got the latest edition that'll be coming out.
All right, latest edition.
Look forward to doing that. I have a lot of fun.
And I got to ask you, do you have one of your Super Bowl rings on you right now? Because Steve wants to say that Tampa is going to blow the rings, like it's going to be the biggest ring ceremony ever and all that. Do you have one of your rings around there to show the world what you won? Are there no rings?
No, Joe, I'm currently wearing as many Super Bowl rings as the Buffalo Bills own.
Oh, all right. Rodney, you do me in. Come on. You do me in. Come on.
That was pretty good.
Before you go, Randy, there's one other free agent that I want to touch on here, who may end up in Pittsburgh as well. JJ Watt.
What?
Oof. Reunion with his brother. That would make a lot of sense. They might actually, if it's possible, that would give them almost too many pass rushers. The other place I'd like to see him go, part selfishly, but is San Francisco. Mm-hmm. Put him on the other side from Bosa. I think at least for 1 year, But the problem is, wherever he goes, it's going to have to be somewhere where he only has to play like 30, 35, maybe 40 snaps a game.
Yeah.
He's not a full-time stop the run, play every down kind of guy, because physically he wouldn't hold up. But if you really monitor his reps, especially earlier in the year, I think there's a lot of teams out there he could help. And to play with his brother, that's fantasy camp time for most athletes.
Mm-hmm.
It's unusual enough to have that many kids in one family that could play well, much less being playing at the same place.
Do you think he's going to end up in Pittsburgh? Because he's saying he doesn't mind going to Cleveland, but I already know where he's going to end up. This is why the Buffalo Bills are going to go to the Super Bowl.
You do, huh?
Yeah, you know where. And next year at this time, Randy, next year I got to show you a ring.
You in the weekend.
All right. Check out Randy's show, Randy Cross. Any last questions, Jess and Steve?
No, you've answered all my questions.
I got my JJ Watt question, and I'm good.
All right, Randy. All right. Once again, what's your show called, and where can they hear it and see it?
It's Randy Cross Podcast. You can go to randycross.com. You could go to barnburner.ca, barnburnernetwork.ca. You can go to all kinds of different places. You can go to Twitter. You can go just go and get it. I always say go to randycross.com.
Yeah, go to randycross.com. All right, Randy, one of the best, Super Bowl champion. Thanks a lot, and we'll be in touch soon, Randy.
And I hear you can actually get it here at Fired Up too, huh?
Yes, you can get it up at Fired Up. That's right. we rebranded Fired Up Network. We're all fired up for Super Bowls and rings and avocado and tequila and everything like that, right, Randy? And what did you cook for Super Bowl? Come on,
you need. You really do need to get that old song of Isaiah Robertson. Get that on a loop. You can start playing that in September.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, Randy. I was going to invite you on next week and the week after
Thanks,
and all
guys.
that, but I think I need a break. Thanks a lot, Randy.
Thanks, Randy.
Bye, Rand.
Bye now. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Randy Cross, a 3-time Super Bowl champion. What an honor to have him on here. And this is Fired Up Network, Fired Up Live with Steve Carney.
I got to tell you, Joe, Randy was being nice to you about Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And yes, Buffalo could take that next step and get into the Super Bowl. But it's going to take Patrick Mahomes tearing an ACL.
Listen, I don't want to get to the Super Bowl.
I can't.
I don't want to get to the Super Bowl. Wow, it's so cold. I don't want to get into the Super Bowl. I want to win the Super Bowl. And Steve, you got the magic power. Everything in Tampa this year happened in Tampa. You're gonna have an NBA.
Yeah.
You're gonna have an NBA champion, Toronto Raptors there also, and don't forget Dunedin, the home of the Blue Jays, to start the season. All right. Well, first of all, I talked off air to Jess and said, look how much snow and all that. What's the weather like in Tampa right now, Steve?
Oh, well, let's take a look at Super Mega Doppler 9000 right now.
All right, Steve Carney, the new weatherman of the Fire Network.
As we take a look here in the 33702 here in St. Petersburg, Florida. It is right now. Ready?
Ready.
Hold on. I gotta get this in. I want to get this in Celsius. So you guys have, up there that use regular, that use those weird numbers. Here.
Are you hating on us?
It is.
Now?
All right. Well, it's just use real degrees, for crying out loud, not this centigrade crap. So it is right now at 8:30 p.m. in the 33702. 24 degrees Celsius.
Stop.
Okay, so Jess, you're joining me on the next flight out there. Steve, you got place for me, Jess, and all that. We're gonna be on St. Pete Beach and everything like that. 24 degrees, and it's 24 centimeters of snow here.
Yeah, it is.
It
is 70.
It is snowing.
Yeah, 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 24 degrees Celsius right now here in beautiful St. Petersburg. I mean, it was kind of chilly yesterday. It was down.
Chilly for him means 14 degrees, Jess. All right.
Yeah, it was probably 11 or 12.
Oh my God, 11 or 12.
Well,
in Florida, that's bad.
That's bad.
Could be worse. Could be ice in Texas.
Texas.
That's what I wanted to say. Like we should all. We're just joking around of being, snow and 24 degrees or whatever. But imagine in Texas where they don't have light, they don't have anything there. So
I was talking to my friend Julia Morales, who is the reporter for the Houston Astros. She was without power for almost 3 days, and has an infant. So she's like it's like 40 degrees in my house, 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It's in like the low 20s or the upper teens here in Houston, Texas. And she's like I have to go out to my car and turn the heater on in my car to make sure that I can stay warm and that my baby can stay warm and that I can charge my phone because I don't have any power in my house. She was like, "This my God,
sucks." That's crazy. Yeah, that's so sad. Yeah. So bad for them.
So I just want to give an update because the Tampa Raptors are playing the Milwaukee Bucks, the second consecutive game in Milwaukee again, and the Tampa Raptors, aka Toronto Raptors, by the way, Jess, lead the Milwaukee
You better
Bucks.
get that right. You better get that right.
Lead the Milwaukee.
Okay, they're playing their entire season there, so it's okay. We can call them Tampa Raptors, I guess.
That lead the Milwaukee Bucks 40-28 or 40-30 right now. The Milwaukee just scored, and also Steve's favorite team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes, the Toronto Maple Leafs, Steve's favorite team, the best team in the National Hockey League right now, are leading the Ottawa Senators 6-2 to 2 minutes left in the second period. We're going to be joined in about 10 minutes.
Enjoy your first round exit.
Yeah, okay, Steve. All right. Steve, by the way, in 10 minutes, do you know who we're joined by, Steve?
I heard that we are going to be joined by a true broadcasting legend.
Hold on. What are me and you then? We're not a true? It's true, Steve.
No, we're not legends, because legend implies that you are old.
Okay, you're right. You're right. We're going to be joined by the broadcasting legend, the old. I can get away with it. He's over 65 now. Go get my Starbucks, Jess.
That's right. Go get on the gold teas, Norm.
Norm Rumack, yes, broadcasting legend, is going to return here in about 5-10 minutes. Jess, I got to tell you, you never met Norm. I'll tell you what, Steve, don't you agree? Let's just ask him about Chelsea, okay? Let's just ask him about Chelsea, right?
You won't have to say anything for the next 20 minutes.
Chelsea is a football. Chelsea's the soccer team.
Is that his girlfriend?
No.
Is that his wife?
You could say that. You could say that. It's his favorite soccer team.
Chelsea might as well be his wife, because he's obsessed with that. He's obsessed with that soccer team like it was his wife.
Oh my god!
So Jess, I'll give it.
No, I'm going to say Chelsea. How's Chelsea?
Yeah, okay, I'll let you get, we could, me, Steve, and you can relax. Just first, nice to meet you, Norm. How's Chelsea's soccer team? Well, I'll leave for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, it's like, here's how it'll work. It'll be, just ask your question. So, Norm, how's Chelsea?
Oh, no. I should definitely do that. I really should.
That's it. Come on. That's it. But
tell me that wouldn't be hilarious.
That would be hilarious. And because, good question. Well, Roman Abramovich is the best player. Oh my gosh! And then
watching this right now, and he's gonna be like, "I know what you guys are up to, so don't even try."
He's not watching. He's not. Trust us. He's not watching.
He's not watching. Oh my god!
We're going to shock him, Steve. We're going to shock him. But Steve, let's continue on for till he comes in 5 minutes.
Steve, actually, I have a question for Steve.
Yeah.
So, have you seen the Black Lives Matter apparel for the Raptors?
Yeah, I have.
You launched it today, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They've worn it. They've worn it in Amalie Arena. The giant scoreboard has done a whole lot of Black Lives Matter throughout the season, and now that it's Black History Month, they've added some more stuff. They've had Grant Fuhrer. They've had pieces on Grant Fuhrer. They've had pieces on Nat Sweetwater Clifton and on Chuck Cooper, and So they've done some really good stuff. The folks at Amalie Arena have really done. And the folks with MLSE that are here in town to make sure that's recognized and that it's not marginalized. Let's put it that way. Even though there are no fans in the stands. It has been put to the forefront and not marginalized, which I commend MLSE. I commend the Vinnick Sports Group and the folks with the Tampa Bay Lightning that own the arena, and it's been really well done.
Yeah.
And Steve, before he comes in, let's talk about. Are you in agreement of the NBA having an All-Star game March 7th, of course, in Atlanta with this COVID time, and they're having the slam dunk and 3-point during the All-Star game? What are your thoughts? And then I'll get to Jess.
I'm okay. I mean, if the league and the Players Association have agreed to this, and they understand that the mayor of Atlanta and the folks in the city, the city council have said, there's not going to be fans, there's not going to be parties, there's not going to be any sort of events leading up to the game. So you should stay home and you should, watch the game on television. and not come and try and be a part of a party here, because there's no parties going on. It's kind of like the Super Bowl. The people that are going to be at the I keep wanting to call it the Phillips Arena from back in the day. The arena.
State Farm. I think it's called State Farm Arena now.
Yeah, I still want. It might as well be the Omni still.
Yeah.
But you look at as long as the people that need to be there for the event to actually take place, and not have a whole bunch of people milling around and trying to make it a super spreader event, I think it's okay. I know that there are a lot of players that have said, we really don't want to be there. Well, you should have taken that up with your union and said, you know what, it's probably best if we don't do the All-Star game this year. In minor league baseball, I just learned that in the Southeast League of Low A, which was what used to be the Florida State League in minor league baseball, they're going to have a 120 game season. There's not going to be an All-Star game. There's not going to be, I don't think there's even going to be playoffs this year. I think they're just doing a 120 game regular season. Best team is the champion. So I think that, it's been collectively bargained. Let's have some, hopefully the people, the players that are there are going to enjoy themselves and have a little fun. We'll see some 3-point shooting. We'll see some slam dunks, and we'll go from there.
Jess, what are your thoughts?
I agree with Steve. I think this year we shouldn't even have an All-Star game. It just doesn't make sense. There's not much to do. The fans aren't there. And the whole the reason why, for me personally, watching the dunk contest and whatnot, it's just seeing people on TV and they're actually having fun. Whereas there's no audience. What are they doing?
Here's what they should do.
Oh, okay. Their friends or their players are just screaming for them, but you want audience there in order to enjoy, right? So, see, what were you saying?
I was going to say, hear me out on this, and I want to get your thought as to how this would go by, because in the NFL, the Pro Bowl was done on guys playing Madden this year, which I thought was hilarious. They should have the players in the slam dunk competition and in the 3-point shooting contest playing NBA 2K, those events against fans. Okay. Get the fans involved. Do it online.
Yeah.
And you hold a contest and say, okay, these are the people that are going to play against the players in this 3-point competition and the slam dunk contest. And that's the way they should have done it.
That's such a great idea. I honestly love that. You're going to involve the fans. It's more exciting. But you know what? You should, maybe email the NBA commissioner.
Maybe I should be the commissioner of the NBA.
Adam, here we go. Hi, Adam.
All right,
maybe Commissioner Silver should appoint me head creative.
As you could see, Jess never met this guy. He's the broadcasting legend, the late night. He's turned sideways. Well, he this is the best time he's ever looked. Okay, so just he doesn't know about computers. Okay, so as long as we got him on here for 5, 10, 20 minutes, it doesn't matter. All right, but there it is.
Okay.
Perfect. Jess, you get the first question because me and Steve want to take off to the beach.
Oh my gosh, stop, guys.
Go ahead. This is Jess.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Jess. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
I have a question. Nice to meet you too. I have a question regarding Chelsea. How's the team doing?
Do you follow footy, or did Joe feed you this one? I know Joe.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Steve, you can't leave me.
I can't imagine Joe scripting a question about Chelsea. No,
I fed it to her, Norm. I did. I'll take the color on that.
By the way, Norm, that's Steve Carney. I don't know if you ever met him.
I don't mind. Since they changed coaches, they're undefeated. 6 games. They've only allowed 1 goal against, and that was an own goal. So I don't mind.
That's it, Norm. Come on. I wanted to go to Starbucks. Come on.
Yeah, Starbucks. I was already there today. Actually, took 2 drinks home for my overnight security work job.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I'm done.
All right.
Oh, Joe, I see. I really like the modern day part of this. Like, I'm actually holding the phone, so I look like I'm right side up. I mean, Joe, filming Titanic or what?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
we're filming Titanic already. All right, Norm.
Norm, they make these little things that you can put your phone on. Little phone stands.
But I
These are like
have a needed
$9
one.
on Amazon.
$9. You can have 4 coffees. Come on, Steve.
And I used to use those, but then recently I've been able to be, when I was on shows, all they would do is just adjust it, so it didn't matter if my phone was sideways or
Yeah.
side up or upside down.
That's a big budget, Norm. That's a big budget. You can't ask for a big budget here. Come on.
I know, Joe. Your show has grown by cents, and actually, Joe's is the only show that reverted to pennies.
All right. So, Norm.
We still have pennies here in the States. We still have pennies.
All right, Steve, go ahead. I don't know if you know this. That's Storm and Norman. When's the last time you were on show with Storm and Norman, Steve?
It was 3 or 4 weeks ago.
3 or 4 weeks ago.
I was in a show with Norman. Well, maybe it was longer than that. Maybe it was around Christmas time.
Maybe. All right.
Maybe it was around Christmas time. Norm, I want to ask you about college basketball, because the ACC is AFU this year. You're looking at Duke possibly not making the tournament for the first time since the 90s. Since Coach K had his back go out. The first time that Coach K would have missed the tournament since like the 80s. But and then of course our beloved Syracuse. The ACC is crazy this year.
Yeah, you know what? Because of my work, I haven't had a chance to watch much of what they do. So, I'm a little bit out of the loop, and it's. I honestly didn't have a chance. All I've had a chance to see is just some post-game comments and some of the highlights. I know that going into the season, they had some talent, or they had some talented kids, or kids that might be very good down the road. But for me, it's been, you do overnight security, you work at night, you sleep during the day, and so it's a little bit taxing on my free time, and then I've got to kind of try and keep up with the other sports. So
I get you, but I mean, you're looking at. I'll give you the lowdown here in the ACC. I mean, Virginia, of course, is at the top, but that's not to be, that's not that much of a surprise. But I think you're looking at Florida State. Leonard Hamilton once again as the Seminoles. Going strong. Virginia Tech is in the top 20, but they've got only three teams in the top 20. Louisville's out. Clemson is out. North Carolina is just 7-5 in division. Duke is 9-8 overall. I mean, they're in really bad shape. Both Duke in the ACC and Michigan State in the Big Ten, two of the longest streaks of making the NCAA tournament actively. Look like either one or both of them is going to miss the tournament this year. They're both in, and Kentucky stinks too.
Yeah, Steve, I was going to ask you one question. I know that like a lot of places and a lot of people, including sports, coach early in the season, even Boeheim came down with it. I sent him a note. I got to know him quite well over the last 15 years. Anyway, I sent him a note to wish him well. Also, it seemed like did Coach Boeheim recover completely without any post effects from it?
Yeah, Jim's going to be fine. He was a recovery. It does take time to recover. I've seen some baseball players that came down with it last year and had some pretty bad effects because of it. But it looks like those have subsided. I don't think Jim had that many problems, he symptom wise. So it looks like he's back to normal, and that's a good sign. We'll see what that means for this final stretch as they head for the ACC tournament, and then the NCAA tournament, hopefully, which will be in Indianapolis.
Now, by the way,
the whole thing.
Are they on the bubble level, or do they need to win a couple of ACC tournament games, or how close are they to getting into the dance?
They're above 500. They're actually ahead of Duke, which I think is good. They're 6-5 in conference, 12-6 overall. So they had a couple of really, they play Colgate every year in the in the non-conference. They had a couple of cupcakes early, which I'm sure doesn't help. But I don't think they're quite on the bubble, but I think that they're probably near. I wouldn't say they're right on the bubble, but they're probably in that next group of 4 to 6 teams that I would think that, one bad step, they end up on the bubble.
All right, Norm, let me ask you this, okay? Forget about all this talk about Syracuse. Jess wants to know about Chelsea, all right? We're going to talk about Chelsea.
Hey, Joe, I just lost my what happened?
I can't hear you. You never sounded better, Norm.
Out.
You're cutting out. But Norm, do you want to give...
I love this technology. I had a big one on Mars, and I can't get the volume on my freaking phone.
Are you saying that Joe, Steve, and Jess have the best show ever? Is that what you're saying? Yes, right? Okay. Anyways, don't talk. Joe, don't talk. Some guy named Billy, says, why not give a tour of the Norm Rumack Shrine? That means his office, his room there, and all that. Do you want to give that? Last time you were on here on the Fired Up Network, you gave a tour of your shrine with all these pictures and autographs and everything like that. Do you want to do that, Norm?
Yeah, I don't mind doing that.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what you're saying, Norm. It doesn't matter. Just give us a tour. Give us a tour. Look, Jess is Steve wants to see it. Look, Steve's enthralled by the tour of the Maple Leaf Shrine, basically Norm Rumack Shrine. Go ahead, Norm.
Well, yeah, I don't know how much of a shrine it is. It's a little bit of everything, a little bit of sports, a little bit of entertainment. But anyway, if you guys see, I'm glad to show it. It's like more personal about my radio career and some other stuff. So you got the
you don't even have to talk, Norm. Just I'll give the play-by-play. There is the lousiest team in soccer, Chelsea. Look, Jess, it's Chelsea, the lousiest team in soccer.
Is that Chelsea? Okay.
Okay. Yes, Norm. Yes, I agree. I agree. The lousiest team in soccer. All right, Chelsea. Go ahead, Norm. Yes. I know. John Nelson agrees also. All right. So go ahead, Norm. Go.
Steve will probably have one of these.
Oh, Steve, he wants to know if you have a Syracuse. Look at that, Steve. Syracuse national champion. Show it again, Norm. Show it again.
Syracuse national champions from 2003. My boy Carmelo.
Yeah, I've got something even better than that. Hang on a second.
Yeah, we want to see a close up of Norm's ear again.
I was going to say, is it Ernie Davis's Heisman Trophy?
What's I missed what Joe asked. What is Ernie Davis's Heisman Trophy?
No, you said you had something. You said you had something better. I was asking, do you have Ernie Davis's Heisman?
Ernie Davis, you'll remember. I don't know, Jessica remembers. Remember the film about Ernie Davis? Here's a poster.
There's the film on Ernie Davis. I have to translate.
Yes. Oh,
it's
cool.
the Express. Yes. Express. We're getting up close with Norm's glasses now. All right, so.
Okay, and here's another neat little souvenir from 2003. I got this when I went, to visit Coach Boeheim, and they had a few of these in the team. So I don't know if Stevie, did you get one of these?
Move the camera. That's right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, there you go.
That's awesome.
There you go. Absolutely.
Nice.
It's been. I think mine has Derek Coleman and Ronnie Cycli on it.
What's that?
I said I think mine has Derek Coleman and Ronnie Cycli on it.
Yeah, that's 87. Okay, so there's.
He knows the year and everything.
Wow. Oh yeah, that's 87. He's just
He's still coaching her, isn't he?
Yeah, Jerry McNamara, the hero.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, Norm, me and Jess want to see the greatest team in hockey. Go show some. Steve wants to see it also. The greatest team in hockey. Some memorabilia of the greatest team in hockey, like you said, God's team in the National Hockey League, aka the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Memorabilia from hockey. I mean, I've got some of that stuff, but
He's got a Dominion challenge. He's got the Dominion Challenge Cup in there.
He's got Mike Palmer's mask.
I love it. You know why? I love all your collector items there you got.
Okay, Jessica, here's something I think you'll appreciate.
Let's see.
I think everybody will.
We'll see his ear.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, we're gonna see your ear.
Jessica, now acknowledging because like I'm a dinosaur. Okay, so being
He's a that's the only thing we heard. He's a dinosaur. 640 years old.
I was gonna say the only apps that he has is still apps.
You're on like how many cans of Coke did you have tonight? Holy shit. Jeez.
Here, you want me to do my Joe? Here's my Joe impression. Oh, you know, Storm and Normie's 850 years old. The only apps that he has is still apps.
Oh my god.
Actually, that was perfect, Steve. You know why? Steve, that was perfect. Here is still apps.
He's got still apps. There it is. I told you the only apps that Norm had is still apps.
That's amazing.
How did you know? Oh, okay. Anyway, so acknowledging my age. So it was at grade 9. It was 1970. I was on a school trip to
Hold on, Norm. Grade 9, and people doesn't hear. I gotta repeat this. I feel like grade 9. Norm was in grade 9, 1970. He's going to show us a picture from 1970. So that's
actually not a picture from 1970, but
I was going to say, am I going to have to start singing the Bare Naked Lady song? This is me in grade 9, baby. This is me in grade 9.
No, actually, it was 1970. On a Canadian continent,
you guys, she's hurting. What is going on right now? What is going on?
Anyway, my teachers, our teachers, took us to see the movie Woodstock.
Norman, I see your
the movie Woodstock! The movie Woodstock!
But here's something that you can only get at the movie theater. So here's.
I feel so bad for him.
I'll just mute him.
He can't see anything. I feel so bad for him. Norman, wait, we see your ear. I want to see.
We hear your ear, but we hear your ear. Go ahead.
I see your ear there.
All right, that's Woodstock. Look, everybody, that's Woodstock.
Okay. Perfect. Love
it. Steve is like cracking up there. Okay.
Steve, don't do that, Steve, because I'm dying. Okay.
This may be the greatest moment in TV history. All right, so
I feel like I have to turn my camera off.
Okay. So there's the.
Oh my god.
Actually, there was a poster at the concert that became the concert for the poster.
I agree. Okay. Oh, what is that? A rooster Norm or what?
Yeah, Joe. You should read up about the concert. You understand?
Okay. I'm good. What's happening?
All right, Norm. Okay, here, a little decorum, Norm. Okay, the tour is over. The tour is over.
Thank you so much for the tour, Norman. I honestly appreciate it. I'm so sorry we could not see a thing. That's why I'm laughing, but thank you so much for the tour.
Now, Norm.
I don't know. It's just highly personal stuff, right? So
yeah, of course.
Highly personal. Steve looks like, wake up, Steve, wake up. All right. So, Norm, honestly. Yeah, I agree. So, Norm, honestly.
Sorry, I fainted because I saw still apps.
Yeah. Norm, can you reminisce with Steve some of your favorite musicians? Really? Muted. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got a lot of favorite musicians. You want to know which concerts I've been to? I've been to pretty
which concerts he's been to?
You went to Woodstock, obviously.
What? Who else goes to concerts? You go to concerts to see UCLA. No?
Nobody can hear you. This is the best that Storm and Norman has ever heard.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I can hear Norm.
I can hear him now.
Beach Boys concert when they were all still alive.
Beach Boys, okay.
Exhibition
Beach Boys.
So
Now is this so you said this is when they had all of them together. So like Mike Love and Brian Wilson weren't fighting with each other at that point.
Dennis Wilson was still alive, and Carl.
Oh wow.
Carl did all the high notes, right? So Al Jarreau,
Yeah.
Mike Love, Brian Wilson was on stage. So it's an awesome show. So I saw them a couple of times. I saw the Eagles at Exhibition Stadium in 1978. Obviously, they're one of the best bands that ever was. I saw the
Yeah.
Maple Leaf Garden, pro center floors. We're so close that we can actually like shake hands with the guys. With Roger Daltrey, he runs like he's running all the time on stage, right? So that was.
So you got sweated on a lot, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Was.
Yeah.
And I saw. Well, it was kind of.
Okay, Norm, hold on.
Wait. Norman, what about the Aqua Band? Have you seen them live?
Did you say the Aqua? What was the name of the band?
Aqua. Yeah, Aqua Band.
No, I can't say I saw them.
They're famous song. I think it's Barbie. Barbie. You guys remember? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh God, Barbie girl.
I had to.
Okay, hold on. Steve, can you give us a rendition of that? Can you give us a rendition of that? Because Steve is as a known. Go ahead, Steve.
That one I don't. That one I can't do. I can't.
I mean,
the problem is that in order to do that, I would have
He's
to.
He's looking around for his wife. See, his
wife. She'd have to kick me in the groin. Kick me in the groin to get my voice up that high.
So I can hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, now he can't hear us. Okay. So, Norm. Okay, here, Norm. Take the phone. Put it down. Do you got some earphones?
No, of course he doesn't have earphones.
No? All right. Norm, because I know you got to go soon, so it's coming up on the 9 o'clock hour. Tell everybody if they could hear you. Jess or I will translate. You got a new show coming up here on the Fired Up Network. Also, we're on We the Norm time and time again. But tell everybody about your new show and your new sort of not good-looking tag team partner there. Not as good-looking as me, but go ahead, Norm.
Well, Joe, it's hard to keep up with your standards of good looks. I mean, let's be fair.
Go ahead. Yeah, everybody's laughing, Norm. Come on.
Anyway, having said that, thanks. Yeah, it's Billy the Greek. Just go on Facebook. It's a Facebook live show. Okay? And I'm on with him.
Billy the Greek, you said?
Yeah, Billy the Greek. Billy the Greek.
Okay.
And it's a sports show. It's an hour show. We recorded it. It's live to air between 6, 7 Eastern on Tuesday evening. And if you don't catch it live, obviously you can catch it. You catch it on my Facebook page. Is Stormin. It's Stormin. N-O-R-M Rumac. Stormin Norm Rumac.
Yeah, if you don't catch it on Billy the Greek's, you can catch it on his Facebook page, Stormin Norm Rumac Facebook page. And Norm, I gotta say this because I know because you like my sister. Her birthday was on Tuesday. Do you want to say anything to my sister who's watching on here?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, your sister is your beautiful sister is happily married with 3 kids. So, but yeah, she's a lovely gal. She's a gifted, creative artist. Very sweet personality.
And obviously, she's a saint for having to put up with Joe her entire life.
Yeah, but she took all the good looks. I gave her all the good looks. Look. All right.
Putting up with Joe is like almost something that should give her the Order of Canada. But anyway,
all right. And Norm, tell everybody in case.
Betty Joe, I missed that. You wanted me to what?
Okay, in case anybody doesn't know, this is broadcasting legend Storm Norm Rumac, 25-year veteran, the Fan 590, serious. Tell everybody what you're doing nowadays.
Yeah, I'm doing full-time security protecting Joe. No, I'm not.
Protect. I know I got millions and millions of people.
Joe is that important.
Of course, look at it. I'm glad you dressed up for the occasion, Norm. Come on.
Yeah, you like my Chelsea jacket? I love it.
Chelsea.
I love it.
I'm doing full-time security at a condominium, but I can't say which firm, but I'm doing it for 3 years. I was on the air for like 25 years. 20 at the 10, 3 Sirius XM. While I was a story producer for PTV National News on the morning show Canada. I had a nice, about 30 years in total working in news and sports journalism. So I had a pretty good run. They tend to, as Steve and everybody else knows, you get to a certain age, they give you your.
And by the way, people who don't know, Norm, people.
Sometimes that's just the way it goes. But anyway, so I'm grateful for what I have. I still hear from people who used to listen to me. They were kids when they were listening to me, and now they got families of their own.
I can't hear a word he's saying. So for people who don't know, and Steve Carney's born May 3rd, Norm Rumack born May 10th. Steve Carney born in 1980, Norm Rumack born in 1880. There you go.
Yeah, 1880. Yeah. Well, it was actually more like 1955, but I don't mind. I'm 60.
Norm, you're 66 years old this year?
Yeah, 66. Yeah, lucky 66.
You don't look a day older 78. Come on. All right, Norm.
Don't feel a day over 200.
Okay, good. I knew that shot's coming. Steve, you have any questions, any last questions for Norm Rumack, Norm, that he can hear you?
Yeah, Norm, I think the last thing that I want to ask is
how's your ear?
now that both the Raptors and the Blue Jays are going to play their games here in the Tampa Bay market, does that mean that the Tampa Bay area is truly the region of champions?
Well, I don't know. As far as champions know, the Maple Leafs haven't had a championship or won one since '67. Obviously, the Raptors are recent winners.
Yeah, but I don't care about the Maple Leafs. I'm talking about the Raptors and the Blue Jays because they're playing here.
I'm just saying none of the Toronto teams.
We're the region of champions. Tampa, not Toronto. Tampa.
I'm happy. Steve, I'm a Tampa Bay Rays fan ever since.
I know you are.
Yeah. So I still.
But now, now we've got twice the chance of making the World Series this year. We got 2 times.
What's that?
I said we got 2 times the chance of making the World Series this year because the Rays and the Blue Jays are both playing here.
Yeah. Well, and I got to tell you, I'll be honest. I never thought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even with Brady, would get to the Super Bowl and win it. I mean, that's a remarkable. I mean, I'm not doubting him. I'm just saying. I just thought my top to make it and to win it.
All right, Norm. It's a pleasure to have you on. You're welcome on. Fix your phone. Somebody's got to get you a new phone or something like that.
Joe, you're gonna have to send him you're gonna have to send him earphones.
Earphones for his birthday. So Joe, you can buy him a phone, right? You're gonna buy him.
I'm buying a phone. No, listen.
Headphones.
We saw his ears, and he needs earphones. Buds Plus, Buds Pro, whatever, Samsung, iPods, or whatever. Norm's very technical here. Would you like Buds or iPods, Norm?
I'd like neither.
All right. Have a great night at work, and Norm, we'll talk to you very soon. Steve.
And Jessica, it was nice meeting you. Steve,
very nice meeting you, Norman.
It's good seeing you, Normie.
And Joe, I'd give you a kiss if I was there in person.
All right. Okay.
I would love to see that. Can you please?
He would give me a kiss. Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, Norm. Way to leave that note. All right. Thanks. That's the broadcasting legend, Norm Rumack, like you've never seen or heard. The best we ever heard him.
Oh my God, that was the best thing ever. I was dying.
Now, Steve, honestly, Jess doesn't know this, but honestly, Norm Rumack, broadcasting legend.
He's the man.
He takes us to his. That you see, that room is probably 200 feet. That's all. It's crammed in, and he's got from 1970 Woodstock Maple Leafs towels, and all this stuff. It's a shrine.
Amazing! It's like a museum.
Yes, the world's smallest museum. The world's
No,
smallest
it's
museum. It's
Mhm.
crammed into that little room there. But I could not believe that I made a Sil Apps reference and he had a Sil Apps picture.
Yeah, that was
I was
crazy.
like, that was perfect. I could not have worked out better.
Right timing.
If we could have heard him better, I wanted to go in because Norm had a great story about a former Maple Leaf captain who just passed away, George Armstrong. That's why I wanted him here, but he couldn't. We couldn't hear him that well. Maybe next week or the following weeks we'll have him on here. But and I wanted him to talk.
As soon as we send him some earphones.
Yeah, he won't wear.
Yeah.
He won't wear that, you know that.
I know.
But I was going to ask him for some advice for Jess, who's breaking into the business and everything, because Norm Rumack, like Steve knows, he started out 1989 for CTV News as a writer,
Wow.
and then he broke into the Fan.
Doing overnights. He did overnights at the Fan for how long did he do overnights on the Fan?
He started on.
It must have been like at least 10 or 12 years.
No, longer, 20,
Wow.
1993.
Oh, my God.
And he was let go in 2009 and then brought back in 2011 to 2012. So 1993 to 2000. And when we talk at Jess, because I was with him from 11 a.m. to 2 or 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. But this guy, there was 2 or 3 shows, and you know this, Steve, 2 or 3 shows that he started off 7 p.m. and ended up 7 a.m. Okay?
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah, he did the 12 hours.
2002, when Team Canada in 2002, because I had to pick him up to drive him home. So
That's crazy.
Canada, when Canada won the Olympic gold medal there in 2002, we started off at I think 8 o'clock, and we went back at 7:15 in the morning. So
Wow.
Sounds about right.
So,
I would love to hear his stories. I think Joe, we should give him my phone number. I'd love to talk to him, or his. You can give mine. You can give his.
Wait a minute.
My number to him.
Don't say that on Nationwide TV.
Don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say that might be a bad thing. That might not be the best.
That's the worst thing she said this year. Put it that way.
I just want some advice. I love gaining knowledge from legends.
Listen, you want the advice here?
Yeah. His advice would be to buy him Starbucks.
Well, yes, that is the phone rings. It's
later down the road, whereas I would want to retire as a media professional, whereas not just switch my career, right? And you work so hard to attain that goal, and then all of a sudden but yeah, no, it's just sad how the media works and whatnot. And I think we were talking about this last week, anyways, like how working in a media career, it's not easy. It's not easy. You have to have at least 3-4 jobs in order to have the.
I mean, I said that in the. I tell university kids whenever I talk to them, and they go and we talk about starting out in the business, and it's funny because I talk to kids that are at a private university. And I've had some of them say, "Oh, I'll be okay making $40,000 a year to start." And I said, "Get out! You're not." Yeah, I said because you're not going to start at $40,000. Nobody starts.
No,
at $40,000
in
this. There are people that work, dozen years that don't make $40,000 a year in this business because the money is not why you do this. The free stuff is why you do it, but
the perks, they're great perks.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you something. And Steve, you're an American or whatever, but
I am.
Whatever. No, I don't know. But I mean,
probably one of the nicest Americans. Steve, wait. Before you say something, Joe, Steve is probably one of the nicest Americans I've met. I was in the States once, but I'll tell Steve the story another day. And people were very rude to me, but that's okay.
Wrong.
But with this, this is why I'm saying about American because
it doesn't cost anything to be nice.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly. But here for people, since we're on this, for people,
my wife just told me to shut up. By the way,
All right, we'll get to that in a second. I got a question about you and your wife there, but for people who want to break into this,
because it's her birthday tomorrow.
It's okay. Well, Steve.
Happy early birthday!
No, wait, hold on, Jess.
Mrs. Carney.
Emily's there. Emily's there. We're gonna hear the Steve Carney rendition of "Happy Birthday" live on TV. All right.
I'm gonna sing to her. Oh my god.
Steve, you know I do this. Look, and Emily could hear me. Emily could hear me. All right. So coming up is by the way, she's born in February. Not bad. February is best month to be born in. Put it that way. Sorry, guys. I know you guys are born in May, but look, best month to be born.
May is the best month. Okay.
Yeah,
he's born May 3rd.
Yeah.
All right.
Steve, May 3rd, May 22nd.
Steve, do you want to do the happy? Emily's watching and hearing now. Okay, watching and hearing. All right.
She can hear you. I've taken my earphones out and I've turned up the volume so she can hear.
Okay, so hold on. Emily said she could hear. On behalf of myself and Jessica, our co-host, very happy birthday. And your husband of 15, 16 years has elected to sing you happy birthday on nationwide TV. Go ahead, Steve.
Do you want to come over here and be a part of this?
Here
she comes. Here she comes.
Oh yes. Okay. Hi.
I look
So
terrible. Hi.
That's Jessica,
Happy
and of course you know
birthday.
Joseph.
Hey guys. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
how are you? By the way, happy birthday. February is the best month to be born, by the way. That's all I'm saying. All right? So
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm February 8th. So look, okay, so
All right, do you want the happy birthday sing?
yes, I'm getting to it, Steve. Come on.
I want to hear it right now. Okay, Joe.
I'll shut up.
Happy birthday,
hear this.
happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Love you. Mwah.
Aw, happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, I turned 75.
She's older than Norm Rumack. There's no way of that. No way. Come on.
9 tomorrow. So, yeah.
Oh my god.
But happy birthday. Seriously, happy birthday. All the best.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I'm turning my headphones down so she can
I was like,
pull my eardrums out.
And Steve, I'm just getting a text from American Idol. They want you to appear on American Idol next week.
And I'll be the judge, okay? So I got you, Steve.
Thanks. Can't
right.
believe I did that. I know. And the problem I have with it is that I know you, Joseph, that's going to get clipped.
Jessica clips it. You see, he wants it clipped. Jess, you know that he wants it clipped, and we got to put it out there all the time. Come on,
no clips, no clips,
clips. Jess. We'll talk after the show, Jess. We got to see Norm Rumack like you never heard him before, and Steve Carney like you never heard him before. All right, put it side by side. Norm Rumack, Steve Carney. There you go. There you go.
Awful.
I can't get over those.
Awful.
And
Awful.
by the way, Steve, that was very nice. That was, and I like the touch, the kiss at the end, and all that. Now, is Emily listening to us? Because you'll tell everybody what you got her for her birthday. Go ahead, Steve.
I got her what she wanted for her birthday.
All right, Steve's on top of his game.
Yeah, she is a big fan of this of a kitten rescuer out in California named the Kitten Lady. Her name is Hannah Shaw. Her father is Tommy Shaw, who is the former lead singer of the band Styx. And she has a kitten rescue out in San Diego, and she sells T-shirts, and Em wanted a Kitten Lady T-shirt, so I got her a Kitten Lady T-shirt. That's what she wanted.
Aww.
All right. So on that vein,
she knew it was coming. So
on that vein, Steve, okay, I know last time Jess wasn't here, but Sam was here and asking you about Valentine's Day and all that. Valentine's Day has just passed. And all
we
that.
spoke about that. I was here.
Okay, you were there? Okay.
Yeah, Joe, what are you talking about?
So a couple weeks ago, you know, Steve was... a
couple weeks ago. Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
a couple weeks ago, Sam was there. How was your Valentine's Day, and what did you do, Steve?
I worked. I had to work Valentine's Day.
Oh, great.
So
Yeah.
I had a USF basketball game and a Toronto Raptors basketball game to do. So
Wow.
I worked.
And is that the first time you worked on Valentine's Day?
No, it's actually the first time that I've actually been able to sleep in my own bed for Valentine's Day in about a decade, because I'm usually at spring training for Valentine's Day.
So
did you do anything, Joe, for Valentine's Day?
Yeah, worked. I produced shows. That was on a show here with Sue and Talisha, her sister. Tell It Like It Is, and they took. Did you watch that show? We had a wedding proposal. We had a breakup. We had a lady whose father met the father for the first time, and the father threw up on the lady. So that was the show.
What?
Yes,
sounds like a soap opera.
Yes,
yeah.
It was your soap opera that day. But let me ask you, Steve. Traditionally, what do you do on Valentine's Day? Like you said, you work all the time, or do you? Since you're not there for Valentine's Day the day before, or the day after, do you take out? Do you have,
Yeah, sometimes it's the day before. Sometimes it's Sometimes it's a week before. Depending on when I have to go down to spring training. I've gone to spring training every year since 2011. So.
Oh wow! Okay.
And then, when in the military, you're away for you miss birthdays, you miss Christmases, you miss Valentine's Day. So, it's not, Valentine's Day is not such a huge deal for us. So, and it's because, like I said last week, I treat my wife good every day of the week. Every day of the year. I don't need one day of the year to show her. I show her every day.
One thing I was going to ask you, Steve, as you know, you're involved in sports and you're a sports fanatic. Your wife, does she like sports at all?
She's not a huge sports person. She likes hockey. She's a huge Tampa Bay Lightning fan and hates the Philadelphia Flyers, mostly because she doesn't like Eric Lindros. So she's not an Eric Lindros fan. And
why is that?
Because he was a thug.
Okay.
But she's not a football fan, not a basketball fan, somewhat of a baseball fan, but mostly she's a hockey aficionado. What she is a big fan of, though, is space flight. So she's got her own podcast called Space and Things, where
cool.
she and her co-host Dave Giles talk about what's going on in the space flight industry. They've got guests every week that some big time guests interviews. This week, she and Dave have, because the show actually drops on Thursdays, so it's available now. This week, their guest is Ronald Moore, who is the creator of the Apple TV series For All Mankind, which their second season starts tomorrow, the 19th, my wife's birthday. That was the other birthday present, is I got her. I got Ronald Moore to start the second season of For All Mankind on her birthday. But so they had Ronald Moore on this week. They've had Apollo astronauts. They've had shuttle astronauts on. They've had a number of people in the space flight industry, and they just have a lot of fun. It's a really
we
great.
We should have your wife on the show. I mean, it sounds so good.
Hold on. The wife is right there. Steve, bring the wife back. Let's give a this is our birthday present to her.
Okay. Hold on.
Like, I might as well leave,
I'm changing the headphones so she doesn't have to use my nasty earbuds.
I would love to hear.
All right, stand by.
About her show.
We'll be joined by hopefully joined by a special guest, Steve's favorite, Charleston Hughes. Hopefully he has better audio than Norm Rumack.
I hope so too.
If not, Jess is going to talk to your wife for half an hour here about space. So space, yeah. Go ahead. The earphones. This is Steve Carney trying out new earphones.
Changing out.
What do you say? Okay. we're waiting for Steve Carney and his lovely wife Emily, whose birthday it is tomorrow. So happy birthday, happy early birthday to Steve Carney, his lovely wife Emily. There, Jessica saying here you're watching Fired Up Live here on the Fired Up Network. Oh, there you go. All right, so Steve needed a break here, and this is the first time I have you on. This is Steve Carney's lovely wife Emily. He was just telling us that you have a show yourself. I don't even call it podcast.
Yeah, it is a podcast, and it's called the Space and Things. So, and it's on every podcast provider. It's on iTunes, Spotify, you name it, all that. So,
all right,
yeah, and
what can people listen, or when they listen to that show? What do they get?
Okay, well, I co-host it with a British guy. Actually, it's pretty funny. He's a musician. Because it's kind of hard to explain. I've been running a spaceflight group on Facebook for 10 years now, and it's
oh wow,
it's got kind of a silly name, which is because Steve came up with it, and the name is actually called Space Hipsters, and I started it 10 years ago, and now it's got like 20,000 plus people, and it's got a ton of people in it now, and
right. So sorry, I wanted to ask you two questions. Space hipsters. Okay, what made him choose that name?
That's a great question. The reason why he chose that name is because one night I was just chilling, and I kind of was like, man, I want to start like a space flight enthusiast group on Facebook. Okay. You know, I was just bored, and I asked Steve, I'm like, man, what should I name it? Because he's really good with coming up with like names and things. So he's like, well, why don't you just call it Space Hipsters? Because you think you invented everything first. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, if I don't like the name, I can change it. And it's a little too late to change it now. We got over 20,000 people, and we got merchandise and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah. So back to how the podcast started. What happened was this gentleman, Dave Giles, I guess was a fan of my work, because I do a lot of writing as well. I have a blog on the National Space Society website.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so he contacted me. He was like, hey, you know, I really want to start a spaceflight podcast. And I was wondering if, you know, you would co-host it with me. You know, I like some of your work and stuff. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll do it. So we started it. We worked on it over the summer. We came up with it over the summer. We started it in September, and now we're about 6 months in. But we've had some really awesome guests. We've had and we're gonna have some awesome guests coming up. We're gonna have a few. We're gonna have an Apollo. We're hoping to have an Apollo flight controller in the next week or so. We've had one Apollo era astronaut. We're gonna have a shuttle astronaut coming up in a few weeks, and this week we've done a lot of cool interviews so far. It sounds horrible. I've really forgotten. We've interviewed so many cool people that I've like forgotten how many people we've interviewed. That, you know, and this week we, as Steve was telling you, we interviewed Ronald D. Moore, who's he's worked on a lot of shows. He did Battlestar Galactica, the new version. He's worked on I think Star Trek: The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, and he also created a show that I'm a huge fan of. I'm a loser about this show called For All Mankind.
Okay.
And it's on Apple TV, and I'm just obsessed with this damn show because it's about
yeah.
Go on. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So we interviewed him this week because that show is kind of like an alternate history about spaceflight. Like the premise of the show is basically what would have happened had the Soviets landed on the moon first. Like how would have so it goes from kind of that premise, and it just, you know, and now it's in its second season. So so we interviewed him, and that was a lot of fun. So we've really got a lot of cool episodes, and we're doing a lot of neat stuff coming up.
That's amazing. That's so cool. So what makes you interested in the whole space topic and whatnot?
That's a really great question. I grew up, it's funny, Steve's from Rhode Island. He and I met when we were in the military. I grew up here. I grew up in Pinellas County, Florida, and we're not that far away from Kennedy Space Center. We're probably like 130 miles or so out. So as a kid, when I was real little, the shuttle program started, and one time when it just started. One time one of the launches was going off, and it was a nice day outside, and my mom was like, "Oh, let's go outside and see the space shuttle go up." And I was like, "What?" And I'm like a toddler, so we go outside, and within minutes we see this rocket, this rocket go up, and I was just like, "Holy, that's a spaceship!"
So cool.
And I was instantly obsessed. So pretty much ever since then, I've been a bit of a space nerd. So that's really what started it.
That's so cool. And do you believe in aliens?
That's a good. No, it's not a bad question. It's a good question because I do get.
We hear about it, right? Like, especially now, all I'm hearing is like, aliens visit Earth, and the reason why COVID exists is because aliens. But anyways, go ahead. Like, there's so much to it. But yeah, do you believe in aliens if you've done so much research? And
honestly, I mean, I've talked to. It's funny because I have talked to people who have sort of their own personal beliefs about it. I've talked to people who work with SETI. And, people who are kind of looking for that kind of stuff, because there are people who are researchers who really are looking for like signs of some sort of life out there. Personally, I don't believe in that, but I'm not disparaging people who work in that field, though, if that makes sense, because there's a lot of things that, I've kind of been skeptical about. And then years later, it's like, oh, we discovered this. And it's like, oh, never mind. I'm wrong, so I don't want to discount anything,
They found like a UFO, I think, in LA recently, and I was like, wait a minute. And someone took an image. I'm not too sure if you saw it or not, but it was on, I think someone's on the highway, and it was in LA, and they're like, oh, it's a UFO sighting. So I'm like, okay, maybe there is something out there. Maybe there isn't. I don't know.
Yeah. A lot of things that are called UFOs, that a lot of things that are classified as UFOs are what people think are like might be aliens, especially out on the West Coast. A lot of them are experimental aircraft, because there are like there is a big Air Force base over there. There's Edwards. There's other places that kind of fly experimental aircraft that aren't exactly that are not really public. It's not, it's kind of top secret. So sometimes people will see stuff and they're like, oh, that must be, but it's really probably just a experimental airplane or something like that. We had an incident, I forgot how long ago. It was probably about a year or so ago here. And one morning I was like, just lying in bed, chilling. And it was early in the morning, so it was still kind of dark out. And all of a sudden I hear a sonic boom, and I'm like, that's weird. Like, why the heck am I hearing that? Because we used to hear those during the shuttle program, but that ended like 10 years ago. So I'm like, that's weird. So I was like, maybe a plane in MacDill went overhead, or I don't know. Later we found out there's a secret, like a space plane that the Air Force flies. It's called the X-37B. And it landed that morning. That's what we heard. And I was like, that's weird. You don't hear that. And I'm sure some people heard that and freaked out and thought, oh my God, it's an alien or something. So
or the aliens run.
Exactly. I'm sure some people took that as, oh my God, it's a sign. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a sign. Oh my God.
I got two questions for you. Two questions.
Okay.
What is I guess from doing the show, what did you learn the most? Is there something that you learned from doing the show that, wow, I can't believe that happened, or that's true, or whatever?
Wow. That's a really good question. We've talked to a few people. We talked to I wasn't present for this interview, unfortunately, but we did do an interview last week about with these two guests who are Mars experts, and they talked about a lot of the as of course, it's kind of timely because today the Perseverance rover landed successfully on Mars, which is awesome news. But
Nice.
one thing I honestly did not know was that about 40% of missions to Mars have failed. I did not know that, and it makes sense because Mars would be harder to land on than Earth, probably, or the Moon, because of just its atmosphere and just it's not the same as the Earth or the Moon. It's a different planet entirely. So I think it's kind of weird. It's like when you think of like another planet, you have to think of, okay, this is a total alien place. We've never think of it as a place we don't go to often, and the rules are different there. So I didn't know that personally. I knew a lot of missions to Mars had failed for whatever reasons, but I didn't know the number was that high. So that surprised me, and that kind of amazed me in light of the success today, and I feel like we're kind of getting better at it over time. So that kind of surprised me. That was kind of a neat statistic. So I personally didn't know that.
All right. And the second question, and I know Jess wants to know this also. Give us the dirt and the tea and everything like that. Something that we don't know about the guy standing next to you, okay? Jess, I know him about 7 years.
Oh my God, he's going to murder me. He's not going to murder me. He would never hurt me. But...
So
give me the
it doesn't matter. It's your birthday. No. He can't murder you on your birthday. Come on. And he wasn't there for Valentine's Day. Come on.
Oh my God. Oh God. I'm not just saying this. It's not just because he's standing here, but I honestly don't have any bad tea on him. I really don't. I don't really have any bad tea on him. We've been together I'm sure he has worse tea on me. Probably the worst tea I have on him, but it's not even bad because he doesn't really drink to excess, is that he likes bourbon. That's about it, but it's nothing. But he doesn't get drunk. Like, he just will have a glass and he's cool. See, I'm not like that. I'll have like 30 glasses and I'll be passed out. So I can't drink bourbon anymore. But no, I really don't have any bad tea on him or anything, honestly, because we've been together for a really long time. So and it's not just lip service; it's the truth.
Okay, and here's the second part to this question. I know this is gonna spill the tea here. So when when he tells you, I got to do a show with Joe, I got to tape something, how aggravated are you?
I'm not aggravated.
Cheers.
All right.
I'm honestly not aggravated. Honestly, it doesn't aggravate me at all. He's been doing radio for a long time, and he's doing his. I look at it this way: he's doing his job. He doesn't get annoyed when I do my job. The thing about our relationship that I think is so great is that we both, and I don't know, some people will probably take this another way that is not appropriate, but we give each other a lot of freedom. Like, we're both very independent people. We both have our own work. We both, we don't get like jealous of each other. Like I see I don't try to judge other people's relationships, but I see other couples that it's like, if somebody does something, it's like, what are they doing? I got to text them and see where they're at, and check them, and it's like, there's never been any of that with us. We have a lot of trust in each other, and we tend to give each other a lot of freedom. So it doesn't bother me when he does radio stuff, because I do stuff too. So it doesn't, I feel like it's kind of equal. So it doesn't annoy me at all. I've gotten quite fond of hearing from you guys. So it's all good.
And here's another question. He said you're a big fan of Eric Lindros. My God. I'm setting this up big. All right. He said you love Eric Lindros and the Philadelphia Flyers. Is this true?
No, he's a punk. I don't like him. I don't like him. He's a punk. Nope.
And why is that?
I used to watch back in the day, like, God, when I was a teenager. This was back when the Lightning was not that good, and you could get like this was like 25 years ago. And when I was in high school, we used to just get tickets for like free to go see them, because back then nobody cared. So me and my friends, my little punk friends, and I would go to like the Ice Palace was not Amalie Arena. I call it the Ice Palace. Was not open yet. So I think we were going we went to the Thunderdome. Yeah, we went elsewhere to watch the games, and we used to and it was always the Lightning versus the Flyers, and it was when Eric Lindros was on the team, and I absolutely just developed a hatred for their fans. Oh my God, I'm gonna get.
What do you think of Toronto? I got to ask you this because me and Jess are situated in Toronto right now. When we started this,
I could tell, not in a bad way. I could tell from your accent.
Oh, do I have an accent, Jess? Come on.
I don't know.
I have an accent. I have a Southern accent. I'd like to think I don't, but I'm sure you guys hear it. I don't know. I like Toronto. I've never gotten in scrapes with any of their fans. I've never wanted to
Canada.
Yes, I love Canada. I've never been to Toronto, unfortunately, but I've been to Montreal and Nova Scotia.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. It's your birthday tomorrow and all that. Here, do you want to switch positions here? You come to Toronto, I'll go to town. How about that? We got 25 centimeters of snow right now. It's
my God.
660. And Steve said it's 80 degrees there.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. It's really hot here. I feel,
I
honestly do feel really seriously, I feel terrible because most of the country right now, like Texas, is friggin' frozen, and it's never that bad there. I mean, it's insane. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I mean, and I've been around for a while, so yeah, it's really bad. So I feel lucky, but at the same time, I feel terrible for a lot of people right now. So yeah, I don't feel your pain, but I wish I could make it better. So
and
that's a lot of snow.
The other question I was going to ask you, and that's great. This for those who are just tuning in now. Emily Carney, the wife of Steve Carney, is joining us here, and this is like a great segment here. So I'm going to ask you this. I always talk to Steve and all that, but in your eyes, with COVID situation there, how is it? 3 months ago to compare it now, people are saying it's getting better. There's vaccine coming out or whatever. Or do you still think that it's going to be September, October, December till everything is sort of normalized?
That's a good question. I hate to sound grim, but the way the vaccine is being rolled out in the United States, I know Biden has a plan. The president has a plan to expedite it, and I think that's awesome. Because I'm not going to badmouth anybody, but our previous president didn't have a plan. So that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to get political because I don't want to make anybody angry. I'm not taking sides here, but so anyway, there's a plan that's going to be rolled out, but a lot of the vaccines are being rolled out sort of at a local level here.
Yeah.
So that means, the counties are responsible, and they're going really slow, and that's really not their fault because there's a lot of elderly people, especially where we live, because we get a lot of retirees, so they're getting the vaccine first, and I get it, but it's just, I think it's going to be long. I hate to be negative. To me, the situation is the same, and I think it's going to stay that way probably till early 2022. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just being realistic because I think it's going to take a while for everything to get rolled out, but I think it will be. It's just going to take a little longer.
Time,
we didn't in the United States. And like I said, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. I don't want to mention people by name, but we didn't really have a national plan. I think other countries, probably such as Canada, I don't really know anything politically. I don't know anything politically about Canada, so I can't claim to be an expert. But I know in other countries, they probably had like a plan of attack. Okay, this is what we're going to try to do to nip it in the bud. But we didn't really have that, unfortunately. So now we're starting to get that. But I think it's sort of like we're behind everybody else. So we're going to have to catch up. But I think we will eventually. It's just going to be... It's going to take a little while.
Here's another question. Great question. I'm going to have to say this. It's going to be another great question. Okay. Jessica is breaking into the business and all that. And you're the wife of Steve Carney, who's been in the business, in the sports media business, let's say 15, 20 years. Okay. Any advice for Jessica breaking into this business? Because you're actually in the business, you're doing your stuff, but Steve's doing sports and everything like that. So what's your advice for Jessica, who's sort of breaking into this business brand new?
I would say be fearless. Be very be strong, be bold, and be loud. Don't let I as a woman in the aerospace industry, as a communicator, I do get a lot of crap sometimes from people.
Yeah.
And it can be hard. There's times where you can ask Steve. I've been, very upset. I've been like, I just want to quit everything, and just there are days when I really feel that way, and it's like you just. It sounds so cliche, and I'm sure you've heard it a lot, but you just have to keep on keeping on, and just I'm just gonna keep on doing this, and just be myself, and just try to be a pioneer in this industry. You really have to have that mentality, because I feel like the communications industry is, it needs more women. It needs more female voices. We need to show everybody. I don't want to sound like anti-man, because I'm married to Steve and he's very supportive. Most men are pretty supportive, I think. But it's like I feel like we need to show people like, okay, we're here to stay. We're not here to, be background noise. We're here to make an impact. So that's my advice. Just be fearless. If you want something, try to go after it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And everyone
No
hearing
problem.
this, listen, that's great advice.
Thank you.
So Emily,
that's the advice I wish I'd gotten when I started.
Yeah.
So Emily, if Steve Carney got a job in Toronto tomorrow, would you move?
Okay. Yeah, I'd move. Of course. I don't have a problem following him wherever he wants to go. Because people ask me that, they're like, well, if you guys moved up north, would you go? Because I'm a Floridian. Floridian. Yeah, I couldn't say that quite right. Sorry. I messed that up. But
okay.
I'm used to warm weather. But yeah, I'd move. Of course, I'd support him. I'd just have to buy some thermals and stuff.
Yeah.
Anywhere you
we
wouldn't.
got you. We will take you. I'll take you out.
Awesome.
Shopping.
Yeah, I would move. I love Canada, and I like Canadians a lot. I have a lot of friends up in Canada. So I would love to. I wouldn't mind moving up there, for Steve to work up there. That'd be awesome.
Is there anywhere you wouldn't move to?
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a good. Jesus, that's a good question. Alaska might be different. Alaska might be a tough one because Alaska might be a tough one because I had a friend who lived up there, and we were talking. I was like, "Man, what's it like to live in Alaska?" Because you see pictures of it, and it looks gorgeous. There's like elk and moose and stuff, and you're like, "Wow, that's picturesque and beautiful in the snow." And my friend's like, "It is dark like all the time," and I'm like, "Oh, never mind. I couldn't do that." So Alaska, what now? If Steve got a job up there, would I go? Yeah, of course I would, because I support him. Yeah. But at the same time, it would be hard. I don't know if I'd.
That would be a tough one.
Yeah, that's probably the last place on my list of like, okay, this is where I'd like to go.
So here's vice versa. Okay, so if he got a job in Canada or Alaska, you would move with him. But if you got a job in Alaska, you think Steve would move?
Oh boy, he probably would. He probably would. I don't know if I think he would be the same attitude. Like, I'm doing it because I love you, but not because I'm happy about it, Not because I'm thrilled about it, and stuff. I don't know. I think he would, but it would be sort of like, oh, Jesus, So I think he would.
So, but for months, Steve has said he wanted a PlayStation 5 and he wanted an Apple iPhone. I'm putting them on the spot, Jess. Don't worry.
Yeah, you are.
I can't picture Steve Carney sitting down in that TV there you have playing PlayStation for maybe 20 minutes or like some guys play a PlayStation or Xbox for hours upon hours upon hours. Steve Carney maybe plays one game a week. Is that correct or no?
He likes to. Oh God, he's gonna murder me. He likes to. He's not gonna actually murder me. He likes to watch, he likes to watch like stuff on sort of like Twitch, I guess. Yeah. He likes to watch gameplay, but I don't see him playing a ton of games. But I think he would use it probably to watch like TV programming and stuff. I know I don't know anything about these gaming systems, so I think he might use it for other reasons too, like to watch, movies or TV and stuff like that. But he doesn't play games a ton. But to be honest, I don't care. I don't care if he did, because my attitude is okay. He's home. He's not at a strip club or something. There's worse places he could be. Than So it doesn't bother me. I don't care if he buys a PS5 personally. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty laid back.
That's awesome.
Here's a question that I always wanted to ask somebody else, like a player's wife or whatever. And I know Steve doesn't really travel, like, if Tampa plays in Toronto, goes to Toronto for the game or whatever. I know he travels to, I think Port Charlotte is the farthest or something, right? But if Steve went, let's say Toronto or Boston, I know he's, born around that area and all that. How does it, as a wife, how does it feel when your husband, pretend Steve's a player, your husband is gone for 3-4 days in new cities and all that, like, and I know you have a close relationship with him, but how does that feel personally? I always want to ask wives of players and all that, because these wives of players and everything like that, they never get recognized for that. It's very hard work. You got kids there, you got, and you're taking care, and the husband's not there or the player's not there for months at a time, not 2 or 3 days, for months.
Yeah. I honestly, I'm so used to him going to Port Charlotte. He did that for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Where he'd be gone for, 6 weeks or so. This sounds terrible. It didn't really bother me because like I have my own, stuff. I have a day job, and I also have all the space flight stuff that I do. So, and, it didn't really and obviously we stay in touch. Like, it's not like we're like, okay, bye. And we don't talk or something like that. We talk. Yeah, exactly. Like, see you in 6 weeks, but we still, talk and, talk on the phone and text each other and stuff. We still have that closeness, but, it doesn't really bother me. Then again, I think you might be different if we don't have kids, we have cats. So I think if we had children, it would be maybe a little different because, I'm sure having to raise a child, or having to watch a child by yourself, without one of the parents is probably not easy. So, but I can't say I have that experience. I'm sure other women in sports do, but I can't say I've had that experience. So, I honestly feel pretty blessed that he was able to do it, because not many men get to do what they want to do, and that's really was his dream. And I was just glad he had the opportunity to do those kinds of things. And I hope he can do them again, in the very near future, because I know he loves it. So it didn't really affect me much, to be honest. I mean, that sounds really weird probably, but
no, I think that makes sense, honestly. Like, I have a lot of friends too that are, they're married to athletes or whatnot. And, like, you need that little bit of a space too, I feel like, in between.
Yeah.
Like,
it's healthy, I think.
Very healthy, yeah.
It's healthy, I think, to have, like, if you're in a marriage, it's okay, I think, to have sort of your own, like, it's okay to have your own career and your own sort of, interest. And, it doesn't mean, you're, I don't think it means, you're being a bad spouse or anything like that. So I'm pretty independent, so it doesn't really affect me too much,
So I got one final question, and it's a big one.
Okay. Oh no. All right.
Because this is
like,
so good.
Why did I agree to this? So many questions, Joe.
Hold on, one final question, but we were gonna be joined by Charleston Hughes, but this is so good that I bumped him till next week. Okay, so
wow.
Actually, he texted me, and he had a snowstorm. He says he could pull in, but I bumped him till next week. All right. Yeah. So here's the question: we just passed Valentine's Day. Okay.
Okay.
What made you say yes, or what made you fall in love with Steve Carney?
Oh my God!
There you go. See, I look how I'm dressed. I'm like the Ted Koppel here. I asked the good questions. Come on.
He's gonna freaking die when he hears me say this. We met each other a long time. We started dating a real long time ago. We started dating in 1998, and I knew him. We met in nuclear power school in Orlando, Florida. We were in the Navy together, and I knew him. He was in the class below me, and I knew him sort of peripherally. Like I saw him sort of hanging. And I thought he was cute. I really thought he was attractive.
Aw.
You thought he was attractive. Hold on. You thought
he was. Oh, that's messed up. I thought I thought he was really cute. I was like, man, I like him, but I he had a girlfriend at the time, so I was like, I didn't want to go after him. That's kind of sleazy. So I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything because he's got a kind of weird, And a few months later, we were both unattached, and I think the thing. Oh my God, he's gonna not like this at all. He's covering his head.
No, I'm
He I won't name the specific.
Where's Steve? Okay. I won't do that to Steve. Okay. Yes, Steve.
I won't. There was a specific one time I was hanging out there was a place called the Enlisted Club on the base, and it was like a place where you could like go get beer or I couldn't drink back then. I was too young, but it was like you just hang out, watch TV, listen to music, whatever. It was sort of like a place that they had so we wouldn't get in trouble. So we were hanging out, and I used to smoke. So I'm on the smoke pad, and I think at the time I just broken up with some dude, not Steve. I broke up with some dude, and I was just really upset. Like I was like, oh, I'm crying, like, smoking my cigarette. And Steve came over, and Steve knew I was like upset. So he kept trying to make me laugh. Like he kept joking.
Aww.
And that's what made me fall in love with him. So,
that's so cute.
That's what made me fall in love with him.
Okay, hold on. Where is Steve?
Perfect timing if you think about it, right? Like, where Steve broke up with his
nice.
girlfriend, she broke up with her boyfriend. It's such a perfect timing. It had to happen.
Yeah, he got in there in the right time. I mean, you have to admit that was pretty slick. But so that's what made me fall in love with him. But I think we didn't start dating until a few more months after that. But that was the point where I was like, man, I really like him. I wish he was single. And then a few months later he was, and then we just kind of came together. Exactly. It sort of happened from there.
In the 22 years, how has he changed, or has he changed?
I would say he's changed, but not like negatively or anything. He's I think he's gotten, like we all have. I think we both of us have grown to be, sort of more mature, more responsible, just things like that, trying to think about the future, just things like that. So, but he's still pretty funny, he still makes me laugh. So that's really important. But I can't think, he's probably gotten a little more mature and, responsible, but then again, so have I. I mean, when we first met, I was a teenager, and now I'm like 85 tomorrow. So, so I think we both sort of grew up together in a way, All
right.
That's awesome.
So we got a couple minutes left before we close out the show. Jess, do you want to say anything to Emily?
No, I think she's answered all our questions. Thank you so much. We put you on the spot. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, no problem. This was
I think we're going to do a new segment. We should have a weekly segment. What's up in space or something like that. We'll have a weekly segment here. Okay?
Wow. Well, I'd be thrilled to do it. Thank you. I would be thrilled to do it. Let me get Steve back on. Hold on.
No problem.
Thank you guys so much. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you guys. I know I've heard you guys before, but nice to talk to you.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Here you go.
All right, that's Emily Carney, Steve Carney's wife here. I'm going to ask the same questions, Jess.
Same question. He can probably hear us, okay?
I know he can.
He can't use last name.
Telling all my secrets.
Okay, first of all.
That's so cute, by the way. I am obsessed with your wife. She's so cute. I've learned so much about space and you.
Okay, Steve, hold on.
And she let me have 2 glasses of this Wild Turkey 101.
All right, so Steve, first of all, the Charleston Hughes, I bumped him because your wife did a great show here and all that. So anytime your wife,
he wouldn't been able to hear you anyway.
Yeah,
yeah, that's true.
And anytime your wife wants to do a special segment, What's Up in Space or something like that, every week we'll have her on. But Steve, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked your wife, to only be fair, because, we know each other and all that. Okay? So I said to her, what made you fall in love with Steve? I'm going to ask the same question to you. What made you fall in love with Emily?
Well, I mean, normally this would be the point in time when I would joke around and say her ass.
Yeah, you're right.
But no, I mean, you guys have just spent the last half an hour with her. She's the smartest person I know, and that's really important to me. Is the fact that we can have these like weird conversation, like we both have very similar senses of humor. Like we can be kind of zany. We can be kind of zany and kind of off the wall at times, and so it works well that we kind of we have a similar but not the same senses of humor. So it works out well, and the conversation, like I said, it's never boring.
All right, Steve, you've done so well with your wife and all that. The best half an hour that you've done on the TV network, on the Fired Up network.
I'm telling you, I was able to sit down on the couch. I relaxed. I poured myself a glass of bourbon. I finished it. Yes. I poured myself another glass of bourbon.
As you should. Enjoy your night.
And now I'm finished that.
All right, so again, thank you. By the way, happy birthday to your lovely wife, and I'm serious, Steve. Now I'm going to call it, instead of Fired Up Live, we should call it the Carney Show or something like that, right? So, but hopefully we could have her on, and that was very enlightening about space and everything. I know Jess liked it too, so
I loved it, and I was like, "Is there aliens? What's going on?" Like, I mean, there's so much to learn about,
I'm very happy that you guys did not ask if the moon landing was faked. That was very
That's
nice.
for next week, Jess. You got that right?
She gets very angry about that.
I'm going to write that down right now. That's Joe asking a question.
She's over here yelling at me.
I don't want to get in trouble.
I asked all the good questions. Come on.
No, well, you have to ask that one now, okay?
All right. So,
you made Jess ask about Chelsea.
Well,
yeah, exactly. And I asked, and I didn't say no.
And did you see he went on for 20 minutes about it? So
I loved it. I learned.
All right, so
Chelsea.
You've been watching Fired Up Live here on the Fired Up Network with Steve Carney and his lovely wife, whose birthday is tomorrow. Again, happy birthday to Emily. Steve, tell everybody how they could get a hold of you. And Jess, look up what's underneath that orange roof of yours. Go ahead.
That's right. You can follow me on social media. I am at Steve Carney on Twitter and Instagram. Emily is Emily Carney Space. I believe on both I know on Twitter and on Instagram. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Emily L. Carney on Twitter and Emily Carney Space on Instagram. You can listen to Under the Orange Roof, my weekly podcast about the Tampa Bay Rays, which drops every Monday. This past week, we have Rich Hollenberg of Fox Sports Sun, the Rays TV pregame and postgame show host. We talked about broadcasting in the time of pandemic, the bits and pieces of advice that we've been given, the good, the bad, and the off the wall zany when it comes to broadcasting remotely. We talk about Zoom backgrounds and about college basketball and baseball and the Tampa Bay Rays and the Blue Jays. We both have very high expectations for the Blue Jays, even though we both think that they're going to get beat by the Rays. And you can find that on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the iHeartRadio app, and at my new website, stpete9.com.
All right, you can see Jess is getting ready to shovel the snow, so she wants to go in a hurry. So, right. Jess.
No, I have a surprise for Steve, actually. Look at that.
Oh, look at that. Look at that lion. Look at that little lion.
What's the name?
Her name is Cheery.
Cheery.
Cheery. So this is my roommate's cat. Hi, Terry. You know what? I'm like afraid of cats, but she's my only friend.
She's so sweet.
Hi.
She's my
Nice.
only friend.
She's my first cat friend, let's say.
Right now, Smokey, one of my cats, is sitting on the floor,
Thank you.
on her back,
Terry.
kicked out, looking
Oh,
at my wife.
Aw.
And then Bandit, my other cat, is sitting on the couch, looking up at my wife lovingly. They're both
So
looking
you
at
have
my
two
wife.
cats.
I have two cats.
Smokey
Two
and
cats.
Bandit.
Smokey and Bandit. Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
So like
cute.
the move, the 1980s movie with Burt Reynolds in it.
Yes.
Oh, now I have to watch it.
Oh yeah, have you never? If you've
have
never
not.
seen
Smokey and the Bandit. Come on.
Smokey and the Bandit is one of the greatest movies of the 80s.
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it. So I'm gonna write this down right now, so I watch it over the weekend.
And remember, Jess, what's that question we got to ask Emily next week? Go ahead, Steve. What's that question?
So that's you, Joe, not me.
Okay, write it down for me, Jess. I'll do it. Go. What's the question, Steve?
The question.
No, Steve's like, is it me?
I don't think you want. I don't think you want to ask that.
No, I'll get Norm to ask that. Don't worry.
Norm, no.
Okay. Jess, as we close this out, Jess, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram or Twitter. So Instagram, Jess Says, JessSays, Jess Says.
All right, so that's Jess Says. Thank you, Jess, for having this hilarious edition of Fired Up Live.
Awesome.
Between the
My
and look,
are still hurting.
we learned about what's in space there, Steve.
Yeah.
And Mondays you got to learn what's under the orange roof there. So there you go. Yes. Steve, as we close out here, everybody today, pitchers and catchers for spring training. Everything okay with COVID there in Tampa or in Florida?
Yeah, everything is okay. I can tell you that for the Tampa Bay Rays, they have two players that are still in quarantine. They came over from the Dominican Republic, catcher Francisco Mejia and reliever Diego Castillo. They were late getting into the country. They had visa delays that meant that they did not get into the country until last week. And so they are in the middle of quarantine. Their quarantine is actually up on Monday. So they've got 4 more days to go in their quarantine, but they'll be ready to go when position players report on Monday. The first full squad workout is Tuesday. And I will be going down to Port Charlotte on Tuesday for the first time. So that'll be fun.
And Steve, by the way, the Leafs won 7-3 tonight, and the Raptors will win. They're leading Milwaukee. They sweep Milwaukee back-to-back in Milwaukee.
Back-to-back.
The Raptors lead by 15 points with 4 minutes left.
They need that win.
Which is ridiculous because when Milwaukee came here to Amalie Arena, they put a hurting on the Raptors. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Raptors I'm surprised how bad Giannis has been playing right now, to be very fair with you.
Well, Pascal Siakam has 25.6 rebounds, 5 assists, and the Greek freak, Giannis, has 23 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. And as we close this out, the game of the year is going to start right now, like around 10 o'clock here. Steve and Jess, give me your pick. The Brooklyn Nets into the Los Angeles Lakers. Steve, go ahead.
Wow, no Durant, no Kyrie. Yeah, this one I think is going to be Lakers, and it's not going to be close.
Yeah, right, me Jess? Too. Lakers it is. I have to put Lakers as well.
All right, so thanks everybody for joining us here on Fired Up Live. I'll be back here with good friends Mark and Andrew in about 10 minutes for a special edition of Maple Leafs Forever. But we have great programming here on the Fired Up Network. Thanks a lot to Emily Carney, Norm Rumack, and of course Randy Cross. Randy Cross started off the show. Emily and Steve. Emily's, you know what? I'm going to put her in rotation here. I got Steve Carney and I got Emily now. And I'm serious. Every week we should do 5-10 minutes under the stars or whatever. We'll find something else.
Yeah. I don't know. You're gonna have to add another 0 onto that. Onto that page.
You know what? For you, Steve, since I know you and Emily have done, gone through a lot, and I'm going, I call you all the time, and you never say no. For you, Steve, I'm going to add 3 zeros in there. 3 zeros.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And if you think about that American, it's like 6 euros. All right, so there you go.
Yeah.
But for all the guys, Steve and Jess, this has been Fired Up Live here on the Fired Up Network. Stay tuned for Maple Leafs Forever in about a few minutes away. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. Bye,
Thanks.
Steve.
Bye, Jess.
Bye, Joe.
Bye, Jess.